Today was the third meeting of the Consultative Forum of the Turks and Caicos Islands at the Anjayats Francis building in Grand Turk. There were several hot-button issues discussed by the 12-member committee. New classrooms, return to local power, and the high cost of living took center stage as the forum asked the questions many residents have been seeking answers for since the suspension of parts of the TCI Constitution on August 14th. Charlene Cartwright-Robinson led the charge by asking Chairman Collar Simons and the assigned representatives from various government departments what will be done by the new body set up for potential informants to call and assist the Immigration Department in policing businesses that fail to comply with the immigration laws of the country.
In recognition of the fact that greater vigilance is required, the multi-agency task force has been revitalized and will perform duties and functions where spice may be restricted. A public awareness campaign is scheduled to commence shortly to remind business owners of their obligations as dictated by the law. Potential informants are invited to call the Director of Immigration, Deputy Directors, or any of the Undersecretaries in the Ministry of Border Control and Labor to assist in policing any business that fail to comply.
CEO of Lime and South Caicos native Draxville Seema harbored on the issue of education and pondered as to the status of the portable classrooms for K1 and K2 students in the public primary schools. Beatrice Fulford, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, informed the public that the classrooms should be ready by early January.
All containerized classrooms that are designated for K1 and K2 are near completion. However, there has been a delay with the installation of the electricity. Once the electricity is installed, the classrooms would be ready for occupancy. Pupils are likely to commence classes on Monday, 4th January 2010.
Meanwhile, Karen Delance used her opportunity to question the powers that be about any plans to cut down or address the cost of living in the TCI.
The cost of living in the country has increased to some 300% since the Provo-Stevedoring Agreement came into effect, which is of no benefit to the government. Will the Chief Executive be pleased to inform the Forum if the government has any plans to revisit this agreement, especially during these hard financial times?
Mr. Chairman, I've answered the question. The contract is being reviewed by the team consisting of the trade, communication, tourism, and Attorney General. Till the review is completed, it would be appropriate to comment further. But I know that this have completed shortly. I'd be happy to.
But perhaps one of the poignant questions of the day came from QC Carlos Simons, who asked about a return to self-rule in the TCI. Clerk of the Consultative Forum, Dudley Bean, asked on his behalf, does the Chief Executive agree that there should be a return to self-rule as early as possible, and if so, would he say rather drafting instruction have yet been given to the Attorney General's chambers to prepare the legislation necessary to meet the weaknesses identified by Sir Robin Auld? End quote.
Remains the clear intention that elections should be held by July 2011. We are working hard across the board to achieve that objective. We expect a group to consult and advise on constitution and electoral reform to begin work early in the new year. The outcome of that exercise should result in a constitutional framework that will serve to address a number of the weaknesses identified in Sir Robin Auld's report.
We will have more on the third meeting of the Consultative Forum in a subsequent newscast. For WIV4 News, I'm Takara Bain.